Let me tell you something. Life can be going along just fine. I mean, real fine. You wake up, the sun is shining, and you look over at your beautiful wife. You think to yourself, man, God has been good to me. That was my life, every single day. Waking up next to my queen in our home, a place filled with love and laughter. We had our little routines, our inside jokes. It was that simple, comfortable kind of happiness that you can't put a price on. It was a blessing, and I knew it. I truly did. I felt like the king of my castle, and she was my queen. Nothing in the world felt like it could ever go wrong. On this particular day, a beautiful Sunday afternoon on July 20th, 2025, everything was perfect. The air was warm, the sky was a brilliant blue, and my wife was inside, humming a sweet tune while she was tidying up the kitchen. I was out on the porch, just soaking it all in, feeling grateful for every little thing. I had my whole life right there, you understand? A loving wife, a comfortable home, and peace in my heart. You work hard for that. You pray for that. And when you get it, you hold on to it with both hands. It was one of those days you wish you could just bottle up and save forever. A perfect snapshot of a happy life. Then, out of nowhere, a car pulls up. It was my boy, a friend I've known for years. Now, I love my friends, but this was a surprise visit. No call, no text, just poof, here he is. I ain't seen him in a little while, so I was happy to see him. I stood up, a big old grin on my face, and waved him over. He got out of his car looking a little off. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but something in his eyes seemed distant. But you know how it is, you brush it off. You figure maybe he's just had a long day or something is on his mind. So I just welcomed him like I always would. We chatted for a bit on the porch, just catching up on the usual stuff. The whole time, though, I had this little feeling in the back of my mind. A little alarm bell that was trying to ring, but I kept hitting the snooze button on it. He was talking, but it felt like he wasn't really there. His energy was all wrong, but he was my friend, so I pushed the feeling down. I told him, "Hold on, man, let me run inside and grab us something cold to drink. It's hot out here." I figured a cold glass of lemonade would fix whatever was going on. I smiled, slapped him on the back, and went inside, leaving him there on my porch. So I go inside, right? I tell my wife, "Hey baby, my boy is here." She smiles that beautiful smile of hers. I head to the fridge, grab the pitcher of lemonade, and pour 2 tall glasses. I'm in there for maybe, and I mean maybe 5 minutes. Just long enough to pour the drinks and say a few words to my queen. I'm thinking, my friend is out there, enjoying the nice weather, waiting for this refreshing drink. I'm feeling like a good host, you know, taking care of my company. Everything is normal, everything is cool. Or so I thought. This is where the train goes completely off the tracks. I walk back to the front door, glasses in hand, ready to continue our conversation. I open the door, step out onto the porch, and I stop dead. I froze. My friend is standing there in the driveway next to his car wearing nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing but his drawers, his tidy whities. That's it. Just standing there in broad daylight in my driveway, in his underwear. My jaw just about hit the concrete. All the alarms that were trying to go off in my head before, they were now screaming. Sirens were blaring. This ain't normal. Not at all. I put the glasses down real slow. I had to make sure my eyes weren't playing tricks on me. I said, "Man, what in the world are you doing?" And I said it with that tone, you know the one. That tone that says, "You have exactly 2 seconds to explain yourself before I lose my mind." I said, "My wife is in the house. You can't be out here like this. What is wrong with you?" I was trying to keep my voice down, but I was shocked, confused, a little bit angry to be honest. It was disrespectful. You don't just show up at a man's house and strip down to your skivvies. I don't care who you are. He just looks at me, real calm, and says, "I'm about to wash my car." I looked at him. I looked at his car. Then I looked back at him, still in his underwear. I said, "Wash your car? You gotta put some clothes on to wash a car, man. You can't be out here like this." It made no sense. None. But I didn't want a scene. I just wanted him to cover up. So I went back inside, grabbed him a t-shirt, a pair of shorts, and a brand new pair of sandals I'd just bought. They were nice ones too. I handed them to him and said, "Here, put these on, now." He put the clothes on and things kind of settled down. Or at least I tried to make them settle down. He washed his car, I sat on the porch, and we tried to make small talk. But the whole vibe was just weird. The easy feeling from earlier was gone. It was replaced by this thick, awkward silence. I couldn't shake the image of him standing there in his underwear. It just kept replaying in my head. After a while, he finished up, said his goodbyes, and left. I was honestly relieved. I just wanted the day to get back to normal. I wanted to forget the whole strange encounter had ever happened. A little later, after my wife and I had dinner, I went back outside to bring in the glasses I had left on the porch. That's when I saw them, my brand new sandals, the ones I had just given my friend. They were sitting right by the edge of the driveway, near the grass, but they weren't clean and new anymore. They were soaking wet, like they'd been submerged in water, and they were covered, and I mean covered, in ants. Big black ants, crawling all over them. Now you have to understand, I take pride in my home. We don't have ants, not in the yard, not on the porch, not anywhere. I had never seen ants like this around my house before. Something in my gut just twisted. It was a feeling of pure dread. This wasn't right. The strange visit, the underwear, and now this? A brand new pair of sandals, soaking wet and swarming with ants that came from nowhere? It felt intentional. It felt evil. I don't know how else to explain it. I didn't even want to touch them. A wave of nervousness and fear washed over me. Without even thinking, I just reacted. I took my right foot, my strong foot, and I kicked those sandals as hard as I could. I sent them flying into the street, away from my house. I just wanted them gone. That night I tried to put it all out of my mind. I told myself I was overreacting. It was just a weird day, that's all. My wife and I went to bed, and I fell asleep. But then, in the middle of the night, I woke up. Or, I tried to wake up. I was trapped. I couldn't move. I tried to lift my right arm, but it wouldn't respond. I tried to move my right leg, and there was nothing. It was just limp, dead weight. Panic set in. I tried to call out to my wife, but the words came out garbled and slurred. The whole right side of my body was completely paralyzed. It was the most terrifying moment of my entire life. My wife, my hero, heard me struggling. She flipped on the light, saw the fear in my eyes and the way my face was drooping, and she knew something was terribly wrong. She didn't panic. She just acted. She called 911 immediately. The paramedics arrived, and everything after that is a blur of flashing lights, sirens, and worried faces. They rushed me to the hospital, and the doctors started running all kinds of tests. They were talking in that calm, serious doctor voice, using words I didn't understand. Finally, they came back with a diagnosis. They told me I'd had a stroke, a major one. A stroke? I couldn't believe it. I was healthy. I ate right, I exercised. I had no history of high blood pressure, nothing. It made zero sense. The doctors couldn't give me a clear reason why it happened. They just said sometimes these things happen, but I knew better. In my heart, I couldn't shake the events of that day. The strange visit from my friend, the bizarre behavior, and those sandals, those wet, ant-covered sandals that I kicked with my right foot, the same right side of my body that was now useless. It was too much to be a coincidence. It felt like something else, something ancient and dark. Call me crazy, I don't care. But I believe that man put something on me, some kind of root work, some kind of juju, some kind of witchcraft. He came to my happy home with jealousy in his heart, and he left a curse behind on those sandals. When I touched them with my foot, it activated. The doctors can call it a stroke. They can look at their charts and their scans, but they weren't there. They didn't see what I saw. They didn't feel that cold dread that washed over me. I know what I believe happened that day, and no medical explanation is going to change that. I went through months of therapy. I had to learn to walk again, to use my hand again. It was a long, hard road. By the grace of God and with the love of my incredible wife, I recovered. Mostly. I can walk now, but I still have a limp, a permanent reminder of that one bizarre day. I never spoke to that friend again. I don't know what his reasons were, and I don't want to know. All I know is that you have to be careful who you let into your life, into your home, because not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. And sometimes the strangest things in life have the darkest explanations.